Our next speaker is Professor Ish Sharma, a traditional Vaidya with a doctorate in Ayurveda from National Institute of Ayurveda, Jaipur. With more than 25 years of global experience in Ayurveda education, research, and patient care, he has led important clinical trials on lifestyle disorders, authored 4 books, and over 30 research papers, and even served as the first Ayurveda chair at the University of Mauritius. Currently, he heads training and international business at Jina Sikho Life Care and manages the Source Ayurveda Center at Panchakula, continuing his mission to share authentic Ayurveda with the world. Please welcome Professor Ish Sharma, who will explore food as the super medicine through the Ayurvedic lens of Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas. Professor
Thank you.
Sharma.
Thank you very much, Kulam family, and on this World Ayurveda Day for this opportunity to share my thoughts. As we all have been talking about food since the very beginning of the session, and really as told by Ayurveda, by Acharya Kashyap thousands of years back, that Ahara Mahabhashyam, food is super medicine. So if we believe that the food we are consuming every day, that this might have got little to do with healing, the health might come through those pills and tablets and injections only, those so-called medicines, then we might be wrong. We have to greatly depend upon food, and the Ayurveda dietetic principles are very simple and applicable globally, irrespective of what country do we come from. Those apply to all. And we have seen the WHO food plates evolving and changing. The first food plate came in 1974 for the financial reasons, because post World War II, many most of the global population believed that we cannot be healthy because we are poor, we cannot buy expensive food. When we cannot buy expensive food, how can we be healthy? That is where in 1974, the World Health Organization came up with the first food plate, that, okay, if you don't buy expensive food, you just eat these proteins, carbs, and minerals and vitamins, etc., you could be healthy enough. Then those food plates kept on evolving or changing because none was comprehensive enough. And we still are struggling. The food plates kept changing, and the non communicable diseases kept on rising. There was no relief. There was no disease vanished except for smallpox, and the mankind has been struggling like never before. The diseases we used to have when we were like 60, 70, 80 years old, now we are having when we are 20, 30, 40. When I was graduating, we used to study in our books that you could have type 2 diabetes when you are 50 plus, and now we are seeing like diabetes catching up when you are 20. You're having this type 2 diabetes, and what they know as like LADA, or this age gap blurring, when then we have MODI as well, maturity onset diabetes of the young. So maturity onset diabetes, that is the one you were supposed to have when you were like 50 plus, but now you are having when you are young, MODI. So we have come to a stage where prevention might not be better than cure. Prevention could be the only cure when it comes to non-communicable diseases. And that is where food will serve as the super medicine, as told by Kashyap long time back. What are those very critical sattvic food, like I should say components, which if we follow, then we could be attaining that goodness from food. Now, what should we be eating is normally perceived as, okay, this sattvic food means like we should be eating this and we should not be eating that. Like fruits and vegetables and salads are sattvic, like what food? But beyond what, how much and when to eat is also a component of sattvic or rajasic or tamasic food. Now, how much? This quantity is very, very important. This is one of the most modifiable factors, most controllable factors, what we are erring with. Overeating is killing more people than starvation is killing. Unfortunately, excess of food is more harmful than being devoid of it. Calorie overload is the is the basic mechanism for all non-communicable diseases. So that is where fasting will never go out of fashion. Although you should not overdo, there has to be a certain regulation and customization to it. One size might not fit all, like 8 hours, 16 hour might not fit all. But yes, some form of fasting is to be practiced by all of us. In Ayurveda, overeating is never recommended. You could be very weak, you could be underweight, but never even exceptionally is told in Ayurveda that okay, you should overeat. Langanam param aushadam, or the first treatment of a jwar, or there are so many instances when you it's told that you should be undereating. Charak has told you should be eating only 66% of your appetite, or 75% of your appetite at two instances. And interestingly, by one research, calorie restriction theory, the same figure was attained by the researchers that 75% of your appetite, if you're consuming, then you could be the healthiest. And this study was conducted in lab animals, and it was found that those who were given uh, those are categorized as per the food quantities given. Many animals were taken, they were categorized, they were classified into like 10 groups. Group 1 was given no food since their birth, and the time was noted when they died. Surely they died too soon. Then group 2 received 10% of their appetite only, then 20, 30, 40, 50, and so on. And all the animals were observed till their death, and all the urine and stool and blood tests were done, and records were maintained and analyzed. They reached to the same conclusion, same figure, that the animals which took 70 to 80% of their daily required diet, they lived the most healthily, and they lived 40% their normal expected lifespan. And in the human beings, when this study was repeated a few years later, 65% reduction in cancer and cardiac markers was noted upon fasting. There is one very interesting shloka in Ayurveda which can be likened to, which can be linked to the autophagy Nobel Prize to Professor Osumi in 2016. It is by Yoganand Nath Sen Bhashyam, which says, Aharam pachti shikhi, doshan pachti ahar varjita. That is, your
Not letting
metabolic
me
fire,
use
your
my
Agni will be
camera.
digesting your food. In case you don't take your food, your Agni will be redirected to destroy, to combust, to use your toxins like your fatty liver or high cholesterol or your body weight or even your psychological diseases, stress, depression, etc., can be combusted, can be destroyed by undereating. But surely you should not overdo, because the shloka goes further. Doshak shaye cha pachti dhatun. If you overdo, then after combusting, digesting a few superficial loose toxins or ama or free radicals, your Agni will destroy your dhatus as well, your healthy tissues, which will be very unhealthy. Pranan pachti dhatu kshayastatha. And if you still don't eat, then you might die of starvation. That is, sometimes we should be going from plan A to plan B. We should skip food, and we should be letting our energies redirected towards combusting our toxins, our loose toxins, which will never be out of fashion, which will apply to all. Now, Ayurveda says that there is one shloka by Charaka, Prameho Anushanginam. Prameha or diabetes can indicate almost all the non-communicable diseases. This is a one-way traffic. Those only come and don't go back. And somehow we have to work very, very hard to earn one illness. The body doesn't like taken ill. So we have to be very wrong with our diet, lifestyle, stress management, and lack of exercise and addictions and whatnot, late nights and daytime sleep. So we have to be following a very wrong diet and lifestyle for many decades, of course, unknowingly. Then only we can earn one non-communicable disease. And when they come, then they are very, very loyal. Then they don't go back. That is where prevention might not be better than cure. It could be the only cure. And Once you keep on accumulating toxins, or we do, because many things are not modifiable, are not under our control. That is where panchakarma comes in. And before we go to panchakarma, what brings in diseases, this is where yoga and ayurveda has got a lot in common. In Kali Yuga, adharma was said to be the root cause of diseases. Adharma, when you are deviating from your duties. And in Kali and in Sati Yuga, and in Kali Yuga, Charak says pravritti to parigraha. That is, your tendency to hold will lead to every disease. Suffocation, tendency to accumulate, to hold. I should be having more and more of everything. Now, this tendency to hold or accumulate or being greedy will be giving you stress, and the stress will trigger everything. Vishado Rog Vardhana Nam. A stress will trigger and will worsen every disease. That is where mind being balanced, where yoga comes in very handy, could be a very right approach to stay healthy. And if whatever toxins we are accumulating, as the example was is being used very commonly, like during these days regarding panchakarma, as we take our vehicle out for regular periodic servicing, any machine, when operating, will require some periodic maintenance. In the same manner, this human body should be undertaken for panchakarma every year, and maybe as little as 19-20 hours every year in the months of March, June, and September in the northern hemispheres, and plus 6 months in the southern hemisphere could be a right approach as a preventive panchakarma. But if you have got a health condition, then we don't wait for these months, March, June, and September, and we give you panchakarma back to back. Now, Panchkarma is surely the most powerful tool we have got, and I understand that all of us should be practicing Panchkarma, and we might not require an Ayurveda expert, because many procedures can be do it yourself. Like from yoga, we have got a procedure Kunjal, which can be done in the early morning, and which can replace woman. Because for woman Panchkarma, you might require one Ayurveda expert guidance, but Kunjal is very much like do it yourself. In the same manner, a Shank Prakshalan from yoga can be practiced, which is a wonderful detox. And
Got it.
okay, uh, okay, so we all might be knowing very well that what are the stress hormones, what damage do they bring in, like glucagon, adrenaline, growth hormone, and thyroxine. What are they like causing to us, like cancers and diabetes, higher generation of free radicals, which trigger anything and everything. And then we have got adrenaline, which leads to poor digestion and heart conditions, hypertension. I could be concluding here, and we could be open for more Q&A if that suits you, and dear organizers.
Thank you, Professor Ish Sharma ji. I think he has beautifully reminded us how powerful tool is Panchakarma, and also how every meal is an opportunity to choose sattva, balances rajas, and calms the tamas in our lives. So thank you for that insight. And we have few questions that we will be